how keto really works, a complete guide to ketogenesis, at the same time how to enhance the fat loss by using the principles of ketosis diet is a complete focus of the video that we have today. What's up everyone? Well, I'm Praveen Nair. I am a fitness trainer, at the same time a businessman from Mumbai. I have worked with multiple number of people in Mumbai as well as internationally.
Hi, my name is Aditi and I live in Sweden.
My name is Ramit Shah. I live here in Salt Lake City, US.
This is Rohan Rane. I'm from San Francisco, California.
And helping them to get a better, fitter body. And most of the time is by using the ketosis diet. And it has been wonderful. They actually get results. They get surprised by themselves. I never know that I could get results so fast. And I'm going to share all those principles to you guys in the next couple of minutes. Let's deep dive into it. You must have heard that keto gets you fast results, so probably those people who follow keto, they look really lean and fit. What if I told you that 99% of the time people do it in a wrong manner and they never fall into ketosis or ketogenic diet completely? So they do try to follow, or probably they end up eating a lot of fat-based food, but still they don't get the results. So in this video, let's understand what are the principles that you should implement. What are those lifestyle changes that you need to make in order to get the results by doing this kind of a meal plan. In this video, I'm going to cover the principles, the timeline, the supplements, and what to expect from the keto diet and how it's going to be really different from the carb-based or the normal meal plan that you follow. So it takes about 3 to 4 days to enter the body into the ketosis stage. When you follow a good principle of fat-based meal plans, low carb, which means that somewhere about 30 to 50 grams of carb in a day. That's the time you actually fall into ketosis and you start seeing results coming in on the way. What is keto? Core biomechanism. Let's understand what is exactly a ketosis diet meant by. So let's understand in a normal day-to-day life, we eat carbohydrates, which means being in India, probably we end up eating a lot of rice, potatoes, rotis, all this kind of stuff. So they do carry carbohydrates, right? When it's digested, it becomes glucose or glycogen, and then that becomes energy. So when you have extra amount of carbohydrates running in the system, that gets converts into the fats, and over a period of time you actually become overweight or fat. Now, on the other hand, when you are doing a ketosis diet or fat-driven diet, that lets you utilize the fat into the form of energy, where it produces ketones, and your body is now utilizing the fat for the energy. That exactly is ketosis diet all meant by. So in simple, ketosis induces liver to convert fat into the form of ketones, and then ketones becomes your energy source. Point number 3, principles to follow. The most important one is about your carb limit. You want to really limit the carbs from about anywhere 30 grams to 50 grams to the maximum on a day basis. So you want to really plan all the meals which comes across is dominantly on the fats, less on the carbohydrates and more on the fiber. Fiber of course turned out to be more of leaf-based stuffs like spinach, methi, all these things. And actually you can be an Indian, you have a lot of option when it comes to all these kind of meal plans. Moderate protein to prevent glucogenesis, which means that you're going to take about anywhere from 1 to 1.5 gram of protein per kg of your body weight, which means that if you're weighing anywhere about 70 to 75 kg, you may want to keep the protein intake to about 75 to about 90 grams kind of stuff for the whole day. Healthy fats, this is the most important part. You want to find the whole calories of the day. Somewhere about 70 to 75% of the calories comes from the fats, which means that one of the great sources are going to be definitely your avocados, your MCT, medium chain triglycerides, which are nothing else but the coconut oils, olive oils. I certainly love having the coffee with the butter in that, and it actually gives you a lot of energy to jump into the workout, or probably to have the sustained energy for the whole day. Which means that when you start taking good amount of fats and you are in the ketosis, you actually start finding a lot of energy through the fats. And trust me, I have been doing a keto diet from about multiple years, more than about 10-15 years, and you have seen me, if in case you've been to my gyms or when I teach classes, you always see me with that full of energy, and that actually comes from the kind of diet that I follow, which is dominantly based on the fats. One of the most important part when you're following keto diet is that you may want to make sure that you do take electrolytes, which is ideally, I do take electrolytes when it's bad. I do follow intermittent fasting and of course along with the keto diet. So I do take electrolytes is when I finish the intermittent fasting and when I'm starting my eating window, the first thing that I consume is always about the electrolytes. You want to make sure that your sodium, potassium and magnesium is always taken care. Supplements to enhance ketosis. The first and the most important one is about MCT, which stands for medium chain triglycerides. It's taken from probably the simplest form of the coconut oil, and it lets you fall into the ketosis much more faster. So ideally you can use the MCT, and actually it adds taste also. You can actually add this into the salad, into the coffee, or probably you can just sip it, you can just have it, pour it in the mouth and have it about 1 or 2 teaspoon kind of stuff. But basically that is one of the great form to get you convert into the ketosis at the same time to get you the wonderful energy as well. So the first one stands as MCT for the ketone production. Exogenous ketones provides you good mental clarity at the same time energy. Electrolytes prevents you from headaches and the cramps. Omega-3, magnesium and vitamin D for overall health at the same time for great fat oxidation. How a keto diet is different from the carb-based diet. So in a normal term, if in case you're having carbohydrates or normal Indian-based food items or even the bread kind of stuffs, you are in a stage of using the glycogen as a main stream of energy all the time, which means that your body is driven by the glucose. Now, you will feel most of the time that you need to eat food. That happens when your sugar level goes down. But at the same time, I've seen most of the time that a person who follows a keto diet can actually follow intermittent fasting, because now the body is more efficient in using fat as a source of energy, or probably the body has learned to use fat as a source of energy. It's like you're running a bike on a kerosene at the same time on a petrol. So the body will be more efficient to run on a petrol because the engine is built in that way. But at the same time, the body can run, or probably the bike can run on the kerosene also, but it won't be that efficient, right? Similarly, once we grow up, we want to use the ketosis or probably the fat-driven energy system because it's more sustainable. You constantly keep getting the energy from the source of fat, but the body has adapted such a kind of a structure to give you more energy through the time. So in a given situation, the body will be more efficient to run on fat than the carb-based system. Like for example, say, there are a lot of studies done on athletes on keeping them on a keto diet for a couple of time or a couple of weeks to see their performance, and always these performances have gone really high. There is a study done on Australian cricketers about the same principle, and their performance went to the peak when they were following the keto diet. Satiety and insulin. When you're following a ketosis diet, your energy is stable, your hungerness is stable, you exactly go with the plan, and when you want to eat those 1 or 2 meals, or probably 3 meals. But when in carbohydrates based diet plans, you end up eating a lot of food because you certainly feel hungry whenever the glycogen level goes down, and it does spike a lot of insulin constantly now and then. And of course, if you're a person who end up eating a lot of fruits, then you will feel those urge to eat more food. If in case you're a person who like to eat a bit of sugary food or probably fruit-based food, you end up eating a lot of food because now the insulin has spiked, you have more eagerness to eat more food. Or even in a situation that whenever you have taken a break prolongedly for more than about 2 or 3 hours, and if you haven't had a meal, you will certainly feel hungry because now the glycogen level has dropped down. You want to eat more carb-based food to bring the mind calm, or probably to bring the satiety. So it's always, as far as concerned, mind condition, or from the point of view of satiety, a fat-based meal plan is always given the best. Timeline and expectations. The first 3 to 4 days we take to fall into the ketosis, which means now the body is getting efficient in running on fats. And this is the time that you may feel a keto flu around the area, and that's the time you want to be a little more careful about eating and sticking around the plan to the perfection. 3 to 7 days, you find yourself in the deep ketosis where you find the mental clarity towards eating and your goals that you have. 2 to 4 weeks, stabilized weight loss and sustained energy. 4+ week onwards, consistent weight loss or fat loss and sustainable energy. Here's a meal plan blueprint. I would ideally start my day with bulletproof coffee or a ghee coffee. And then I'm going to jump into the next meal. Whenever my next meal falls into the place, that's going to be about a few eggs and some spinach or mushroom. Then the next meal is going to be chicken or salmon with some sort of a zucchini or any other vegetables. So ideally, if you follow this kind of stuff, you start getting wonderful results. You want to make the point that if in case you're a vegetarian, you can certainly use paneer or tofu as an option. And to get the best results, you do want to implement intermittent fasting along with the keto diet, and you get the best results possible. And at the same time, you do want to make sure that your goal, everybody's different. So based on your goal, based on the body weight, based on the amount of calories that you burn, that's actually about BMR, you want to calculate the overall meal pyramid, and that's how you get the best results possible. So ideal macro calorie based split would be that 5% of the calorie would be from the carbohydrate source, somewhere about 15 to 28% from the protein, and rest of it almost 75 to 80 from the fats. Tips to accelerate your ketosis. The first one is about intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting along with keto can show wonderful fat loss results. So you want to implement somewhere about 16 to 18, that's a great window. We have a detailed video about intermittent fasting. Please have a look to understand in detail about intermittent fasting. The next one is about fast-paced workout routine, which means that you're keeping your heart rate somewhere about 130 and above in order to deplete the glycogen at the earliest possible. That, for example, if you're working out and you have depleted the glycogen level somewhere about 15 to 20 minutes, post which, if you're going to work out for about say 15 minutes or 1 hour, your body will be dominantly using the fat storage that you have to break down into the form of energy. So a great example could be your Sweat Pilates Sweat Bootcamp, or any kind of group class structures could be a great option, because these routines focus on short breaks and moving on from one station to the next station very quickly to keep that heart rate up and let you burn more calories. At the same time, let you be in that stage of constantly using energy for the exercise that you're doing. Stay hydrated and measure ketones weekly. And one of the methods that we have is about through the urine, through the blood brake, and through the breath that we have. The most popular one is going to be through the urine. So do measure ketosis every week or the ketones every week to understand which stage that you are in. At the same time, as I mentioned earlier, that whether you're following intermittent fasting or whether you're following ketosis diet, if you are high in calories, you may not get the results. So you do want to understand how much kg of fat that you have lost. So you do want to understand that how much kg of results or the fat loss that has happened, that you can adjust the macros or the diet overall based on the result that you've received. So do something like writing it down, or probably use any applications to really track these things down to get the best results possible. All right, quick recap. Keto does work. It gets you a lot of results when it's done right, with the right timing, right principles, right supplements, at the same time, right amount of patience. All right, please subscribe and hit the bell icon and thumbs up if you like the video, and share with your friends and family, because you certainly can help other people to get better. And that's the time we build the like-minded people community. Being said that, this channel is going to be all about information videos about fitness, at the same time about recipe, and most importantly, transformations. We're going to run about 14 days and 21 days based transformation, which we're going to start very, very soon. So please subscribe and share with your friends.